You stand in the gym and then they'll say, that guy's always looking in the mirror. He's just looking at himself. But an athlete's got a stopwatch. A rugby player's got a game to watch. What does a bodybuilder have? He has a mirror. It's actually a lonely sport. So maybe you feel like you come to a small union in the beginning. But if you put in the hard work, they maybe don't want you now. But in 2 years' time, Sampi is going to Harlequin. JJ going Sail Shark. Ruvald going Glasgow Warriors. If I can make you tough here, you will become a leader in a big union.
Love it.
Do you want to get your two coaches? The one that's fired and the one that's waiting to get fired.
It's a warm welcome in the season of winter to your number one rugby podcast. This is Behind The Ruck. This is episode 151. And this show is supported by Super Sport Bet Entertainment with a chance to win. Guys, I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. I hope you guys are ready for entertaining episode with two guys that just wants to have fun, talk a bit of rugby and get to know people. But if you guys don't know who I am, you're in trouble. First of all, for not knowing who we are. But we're going to do it again for 151st time. Guys, I'm Rudy Page. Next time, I got my partner in crime.
Reaching out, it's your former Juan de Jong in the house. Are you partner all good?
Very good, man. I can't complain. The Bulls are in the semi-final.
The Stormers are in the semi-final.
So all good.
Yeah, and thanks for the support. Coming to the DHL Stadium. Okay,
it was lovely.
Huh?
It was lovely. And the first time in a very long time, Ruckers, me and partner rocked up to the studio twinning. We in sync, we aligned. We're ready for this weekend.
Ready for everything. Ready for green and gold and everything must have come our way. Huh?
Yes.
But like experience, man. Kop 'n bietjie seer sonoggend was nie ouer.
Ja, die Ruckers is 'n bietjie uitgeput. They definitely test my age. I was very in trouble Sunday morning, but nonetheless, an excellent time with a sweet experience at the DHL Stadium.
And it's lekker to put the at Mr. Ash or at Viggy Wagon Viggy to the face. But they were challenging us. Why do you say this? Why do you don't back him here?
It was really nice to get to know the Ruckers outside of this space that you guys comment. But I want to encourage you guys again, like we told our winners back there, please comment, please like, please subscribe. Do not stop that, please, guys. I know we had 151 episodes, but please don't stop doing that, okay? But did you have a great time?
I had a massive time and a brilliant time, but let's give them a little bit of experience of our time. Ruckers, have a look at the Red Hot Ram experience at the DHL Stadium. Oh, lekker.
It was brilliant, buddy. Absolutely fun.
You know, I trust the Ruckers. If I bring my wife to an experience like this, I trust the Ruckers. What a fantastic time. And hopefully we can have it again. Bulls against the Stormers in the final.
I like that, okay?
Never say
I like
die.
that, but
it's possible.
Your seatbelt is off. I'm going to put a quick seatbelt. It's way too far, Ruckers. Ruckers, I also want to take this time to mention our other sponsors to the show. We have got Brightrock with the LoveChange Studio. That will be the segment at the end of our interview with our guest today. We've got our hydration partner to Behind The Ruck. Switch it up like my partner said.
Vita C time.
It's winter. Vita C yourself.
Why? For cough.
For cough.
It is for cough.
There we go. And then our official partners to Behind The Ruck, also Burgerking. We're going to talk later about them with the Fixtures coming up, brought to you by Burgerking, our official partners to Behind The Ruck. And that's all protocol observed.
All protocol observed.
Yes.
Let's observe, okay, what's happening in this episode, what to expect on Behind The Ruck, episode 151. We've got a guest in the house, okay? Physical, Mr. Overall, Jimmy Stonehouse from the Pumas in the house. Please. Exciting for this one. Okay, we're going to share about his massive stories. Mr. South Africa 2005, current Pumas coach, winning SA Cups, Currie Cups. You know, he can sing as well. Sweet Caroline. All's going to happen in this episode, okay? And also then the fixtures of the semi-final coming up. We'll discuss that a little bit and maybe If we'll see about the Springbok concerns. Okay, injury list too low.
I like that.
Rassi, let's get on the same page, huh?
Okay.
Are we getting Stonewall
Partner,
up?
it's really exciting to speak to Coach Jimmy because
yes.
winning 2 SA Cups, winning a Currie Cup, the amount of Springboks and URC players that's come through his hands. Uzair Kasim, Faf de Klerk, Vincent Koch. We can name so many. Sebastian de Klerk, Ronaldo Botman, will be an international player. Okay? Billy Engelbrecht.
Come on.
Okay.
Spec magic.
Magic.
Wow, and there, okay?
So many players that's come through our guest hands, and today we get to talk to him.
100%.
Well done for making this happen.
Yeah, okay. Let's go double bicep time. Okay. Up next,
Jimmy Stonehouse.
Ruckers, today we have the most respectable and passionate coaches of South African rugby. He's the face of Pumas rugby, a rugby mindset. He's a father, okay? A father. He is former Mr. South Africa 2005 as well. We've got the one and only Jimmy Stonehouse in the house. Coach, how are you?
Yeah, the face of the Pumas, yeah, I don't know if that's really the truth, but yeah. At least I'm the face of something. So, yeah, that's good enough.
And Coach, I think we're going to start the show the right way. He is back-to-back SA Cup winning coach. That is something that we have to put another round of applause on, partner. Outstanding performance in this past SA Cup, Coach. It's been 10 days. How has it felt? How are you feeling about it, Coach?
When did it happen?
10 days ago, isn't it?
That's what you say about the win. You take it now and you take it tomorrow and then it's over and gone. And you prepare for the next one. You cannot keep too long on hanging on something. Yeah, that's what it is.
Coach, so no parades, no celebration? Because I know, Coach, you can, when it comes to singing and celebrating and having a one or two?
No, we had a big one from the bus back from Kimberley. Stop in Bloemfontein, and then the next day he had the Hennies health break. Yeah, we did what we had to do, and then it's over, yeah.
And has that always been the way Coach has done it? That Coach doesn't celebrate too long, that you always move on to understanding that's the next chapter. Has Jimmy Stonehouse always done it throughout your coaching that way?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's the best way to do it. You got to enjoy it while you have it, and then the next job is waiting already. You've got to prepare. There's a Toyota challenge waiting for you, and that's a big, massive one. And you cannot hang much and cling too much to efforts in the past because the big ones is coming.
Yeah, and Coach, talk us through this season. I mean, you guys had an incredible season. I mean, the guys have been forming, and especially going away in Kimberley, setting that tone in that final and winning it in not only in the last minutes of extra time as well.
Yeah, you know what? I say to the players today in our meeting, it feels like we're winning more away than we're winning at home. But that's not a bad thing because to win away, it's actually a great thing, and not every team can do that. But you know what? Going to about 100 minutes after the second half, that penalty count of, I think it was 17-3 in the second half, and still stuck in there and fighting the fight. I think that took a lot of guts and a lot of character from our boys.
And it sounds, partner, listening to Coach, you're really proud of your team once again. Not just in the final, but throughout the SA Cup and what performances you guys put on the field, Coach.
Yeah, you know what? Losing 9 players last year. Now you're sitting in May, you're already losing 6 going at the end of the season. And then still, every year you got that luck getting there, you play in the final. And you know what? I give it to the players, coming this season again and just put up your hand and get into that final. And the same with Griquas, they got a good side. We were in that happy position 2 years ago. We had our players together for 2-3 years. And the same thing is going to happen to them. They got a good side, but it's coming. They're going to lose them.
Yeah, yes. And I mean, it's also exciting times with the Currie Cup in front of you guys. I mean, well done. Congratulations also by qualifying for the Currie Cup, because even in the SA Cup, qualifying for the Currie Cup is also a challenge now these days. But well done. And we're looking forward to what's ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I say this in the media and people don't see it that way. But, if you take the nerves in the final of the SA Cup and you take the nerves 4 weeks ago, still want to qualify for the Currie Cup, it's 2 different things. You know what? There you make different decisions than you make in the final. Winning the final or losing the final, you're in the Currie Cup. And that's a big thing. to qualify for the Currie Cup and you got that X on your neck, doesn't matter who it is, it's not that easy. It makes it difficult knowing you're going to lose players, you're going to lose the money from SA Rugby. It's tough. It's tough out there to qualify for the Currie Cup. It's not easy.
So coach is telling me, if I'm listening correct, the nerves you had before qualifying, just making top 4, was much bigger than actually that night in Kimberley.
Yeah, well, if you talk to Harvey's Free in France Stadium, they don't say that to you. Then I don't know what. Then they got enough money to just go to the next season, which we don't have it.
Yes.
And coach, you also mentioned in the media as well that maybe you should put SA Cup to the side and make it a full Currie Cup. Thoughts on that in terms of, how it's structured and also the load it's on the players and the competitions these days?
For me, I always say we got to try to have a full Currie Cup. But I know with television and stuff, it's not easy. They want to have strength against strength. But you know what? What do you give to your sponsors? You got 3 home games in the Currie Cup. You've never got a television game in the SA Cup. Then the guys got to buy a suite at the stadium. What do we do it for? It's just for the love of the game. But if you have a double round in the Currie Cup, and I know it's difficult, I believe if we can get money out there and make all 14 unions strong, our rugby can be greater. I know it's easy for me because I see it from the Pumas point of view.
Yeah.
If you sit at the Bulls and the Lions, you don't see it that way because you got the URC and you got EPCR. So everybody fights for their piece of ground and to make it work. Yeah. But let's say, for instance, we got the SA Cup and we play it November, December, January, February. And then you get into the Currie Cup. If you need the strength against strength and you play a double round, let's say you get from April, May, June, July, then you got your rest period. It can also work. It's more or less the same as the big unions.
The lines.
But yeah, it's not easy. Everybody wants it to work for their union. But I believe we can have 14 teams out there and there's money everywhere and make it stronger because they can say whatever they want to. I know the 4 big unions bringing in the money. I know and I do understand it. And it's going to be difficult to change it, to get the pool suddenly to be a Bulls entity. It's not going to be easy. And I do understand it. But I believe that Juan Giongs is there somewhere in border. And there's somewhere in EP. You just got to make it work. And I believe our rugby going to be so much stronger. And before I stop talking, let's take 10 years ago.
Yes.
Where's the Craven Wheat players from 10 years ago? 9 years, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. Where are they? And we talk about no jobs in South Africa. Jobs in rugby. Where's that? Because there's a lot of players and how many jobs are available.
Yeah, it's also important. Coach said about, the big unions and the small unions, and Coach said Pumas in the small unions, but I disagree. I mean, Griquas in the way Boland and Griquas and all the unions is coming through, they're strong enough. But the stress for Coach, because it was also talk about, no Currie Cup, a lot of development in SA Rugby. For a smaller union, like Coach said, what does it mean for you guys in terms of talking about jobs and stuff like that?
If I talk about small unions, I don't talk about the competitiveness. I talk about the amount of money you can spend on players.
Okay.
Amount of money the Falcons can spend, the Pumas can spend, the Cheetahs can spend, and then what the 4 big unions can spend. That makes you a smaller union than other teams. But for us, we got 43 players with families. And suddenly you get there. If I sit here as a coach and I don't see their families, where they're going to survive, where do they get a job, all the coaches that coach with me, it's not just a snap of a finger and they get another job. And that's what the qualifying for the Currie Cup makes it so difficult. Because, and I know SA Rugby only got so much referees and Super Sport, whoever is in charge of SA Cup, only got so much cameras. But you know what? Maybe the ref was something here or there and there's no TMO. It can cost you a lot of money. And it's tough, man.
And coach is mentioning that because it can cost, let's say it's a man that loses his job and he has to provide for his kids and he has to look after his family. It's a different complex, like around that small little issue of not having a TMO or someone getting a call wrong. It's not as simple as losing and winning rugby games.
I mean, Cheetahs was in that position. If that kick went over, it's a different story. It's a pressure cooker.
You know what? If I look at the Falcons, the type of rugby they play, SVD at the moment, and I know it's because this year it was quite tough in the SA Cup. But our rugby can be strong, man. We can be stronger than we are. And I will always believe that. I'm not just fighting for the Pumas, I'm fighting for where rugby can go. You know, there's a lot of players. I always look at the Cape Town schools and then I say to myself, how many craving week size can you pick out of Cape Town? How many? You can pick 5, 6 teams out of Cape Town. And so let's say, where's that players, that C, D, E team that can play in any other craving week side, AC? There's a lot of players. Maybe there's not a lot of money, but there's a lot of players.
A lot of players. And Coach speaks so passionately about the 43 players that you signed and the family of the Pumas. Am I right when I hear it this way, that you guys carry each other's interest on each other's hearts and the responsibility that like you guys as a group and as a family there in Nelspruit, the responsibility of looking after each other, where it's the coaching management team and the players that working together, the outcome is obviously for each other's personal interest, the absolute best outcome.
Can you imagine as a coach, you phone a player and you tell him, come to Nelspruit, it's great, we're a great family, it's a great vibe. And then suddenly you lose and you come into June, you say, listen guys, I cannot pay you anymore, or I have to let 3 or 4 guys go. Just that part. I cannot imagine myself. What do I say to players? Yes, they also got to take the responsibility. But imagine you have to say to someone, sorry, my friend, you don't have a job anymore. What will happen if the Pumas tell me tomorrow, sorry, you don't have a job? That's why I fight every day to make it work, because you only get your 2 coaches, the one that's fired and the one that's waiting to get fired.
Cutthroat industry, if you ask me. And Coach, I mean, the environment as well at Pumas Rugby. Coach, was there. Coach, left overseas. Coach, came back as well. What you've built there, and I've been there in and out, and you're looking at the gym and the facilities and stuff like that. What's it like for you seeing where you started in years ago? I think it was 2008 to what our Pumas Rugby is now in the environment.
You know, John, I always say this to the players, and people don't understand when I say this, and I mean it in a great manner. What is the players doing at the Pumas? And people will maybe misunderstand this. They're at the Pumas because no one wants them.
Sure.
What is Jimmy Stonehouse doing at the Pumas? He's at the Pumas because no one wants him. Because if you would have been at the big union, they would have taken you. Let's be honest, it's what it is. But after 2 years, they will take you from the Pumas.
Yeah.
I like that.
They maybe don't want you now. But in 2 years' time, Sampi is going to Harlequin, JJ going Sale Sharks, Ruvald going Glasgow Warriors, Sango going to the Bulls, Darnell is going to Boland, the 5th player going to Boland, and the Tika is going to Griquas. So maybe you feel like you come to a small union in the beginning. But if you put in the hard work, you know, there's this saying, and you know what kills me when I open the media and they say, yes, it was the toughest time at the Pumas. They kill you, and what am I doing there? And you're training so hard. Mm-hmm. You've got to make it uncomfortable for people to get comfortable when it becomes uncomfortable.
Sure.
So if I don't put you through that toughness, when the toughness on the field comes and you haven't been through it, how will you manage it? Someone once told me, by working in a player's head or a person's head, he can lift 200 kg. If you're used to lift 100 kg, you can be the best motivational speaker. You will never let me lift 200. But if I get to 180, you can maybe change my mind to 200. But not from 100 to 200. Never. Yeah. And it's the same with this game. If I can make you tough here, I can make you get to the point where you want to give up, and you get through that point. You will become a leader in a big union the time they take you to a big union.
Sure. There's a saying that says you better mess with me now because the price is going up, and I can see it at the Pumas as well. That's fantastic, yeah. And would coaches say that's coach's philosophy? Because he's coachy, but I've spoken to a couple of ex-teammates. Is coachy very old school in how you coachy does it, like army style, or does coachy have that balance in between, being physical but also giving that soft side?
I believe we're balanced because the guys I got around me with the NJ Mendes was here and Corneille Steenkamp and Louis the S&C guy. And I think we're very balanced. But I like that part where I really got to test you inside here. You know, if a player can make the right decision, it's easy to come to a physio and say, listen, I've got a pain in my leg. And you sit out. If there's nothing wrong with you, you're fooling yourself. If you go to the physio and you say, I've got a pain, and you really got the pain, you're making the right decision. And that's where it comes from. Players got to make the sequence what's right. You know, we all love this game. If you cheat in this game that you love, how will you make it in life when it becomes tough? And rugby is a game in South Africa, and people get cross with me. At school level, you get bursaries.
Yep.
You get your clothing. They pay for your school fees. You get everything. But if you drop the ball, what's going to happen? But if you don't do your maths, you sit attention.
Yes, that integrity.
Now you get to professional rugby. There's always another job waiting for a brilliant rugby player. If you're a mechanic and you make a mistake, you will pay that mistake where you work. But rugby is different. But as soon as you finish with this game and you get into real life, you've got to make the right choices. You know, rugby is one of those things. It gives you 10 years. I don't talk about a Springbok when you're earning a lot of money.
Yes.
When you're a normal player, was Pumas, SVD, you get a 10-year lifespan and you enjoy it and you're off and you love it and it's just great. But you're just moving your problems for 10 years. When you get out of there and you've got to start working.
Just so.
Then you've got to start all over.
That's actually interesting because that's where a lot of players struggle, life after rugby, the transition.
And I think what I find fascinating, and it ties back to when Coach spoke at Cornel Hendrik Foundations, even in Wellington, is that thing that a lot of players don't understand, that we live in this bubble and we actually just move our problems 10 years from now and then we want to start over at 35, 36. And that makes it hella difficult to do that.
Yeah, because Tanamaga said you are
long an ex-player.
Ex-player and a professional rugby player, which makes sense.
You know what's a big thing for me? Our country is so crazy about rugby. They just love our rugby players and they will do everything for a rugby player. Do we as players sometimes, and yeah, it's there's a famous story. If there's 3 girls walking in the street with school clothing on and one is smoking, they phone the headmaster and say, your girls are smoking, but it's only one.
Yeah.
So sometimes you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But do our rugby players really embrace this game and say thank you for the next generation, showing them how to handle sponsorships, how great we are for this, and not misusing it. Where we go out, what we do in front of small children, do we really handle it with care? Yes, there's a lot of guys that really do that. But I think players sometimes think it's just there, it has to be. And I'm worried about it.
And now that coaches mentioned that, I'm trying to think coaches' managing style and how you speak about integrity and actually developing men, not just rugby players. I can hear through the way you answer your questions, Coach Jimmy, that you want to develop men. How have you handled coaching this new generation that is, not unfortunately, that is molded in the social media era, that maybe is a little bit, doesn't handle critique or being spoken to in an honest way as much as past eras? How have you handled that era transition change that you are in now, Coach?
Yeah, maybe I'm a bit old school about that because I believe if you see your mistakes and you hear your mistakes, not everybody can take that, and it's difficult. But life after rugby, if you're in a new era or not, life is not waiting, wondering if you're from a new era and what. It hits you. And I know we're worried about it now, kids coming out of school, how do we handle them? But when you get in a job in business and you're not making the money, whether you're young or old, you're gone. And there's only one way in life, and that's the reality. I changed a bit thinking from the past to nowadays. And I know it's not what you say, it's how you say it. In the past, I would just say it. But yeah, I've learned a lot from that. But, integrity is a big thing actually in this game. Because if you're a player, you sit with people next to you's future in your hands. Each and every of these 43 players at the union sit with the management's future in their hands. If they believe it or not, every pass or every tackle they make, that's the future of the management, the future of sponsors, the future of the union. And it's the same with me. Making the wrong decision can cost us. You know who's the most important person in a rugby squad? The one that's not playing.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to be positive when you play. It's easy. But when you're not playing, to be positive, that's where you got to manage people. To get that players that's not playing to be positive. Because you can make every training negative. But to make that training a high standard, to let the guy that carry your jersey do it brilliant on a Saturday, that takes a person. That really is the guys you got to put your hands up for.
Yeah. And Coach Jimmy, those are the type of players that Jimmy Stonehouse wants at the Pumas. That when he's not playing, that he's still positive, still contributing, and not being, as they would say, being a terrorist to the team. Is that the type of player that Jimmy Stonehouse looks for when he contracts players?
That's the player you want. I believe this. Not everybody can become a Springbok. But when you play at the Pumas now, this is your Springbok. This is your Springbok side. And if you cannot handle this at the moment with integrity, will you sit on the bench for the box? Yes, I will. Will I just want to be in the squad of the box? Yes, I will.
Sure.
But if I'm not in the 23 of the Pumas, I've got. So how do you handle this game? This is your Springbok side now. And if you can handle it in the right manner now, it will come your way. But if you cannot handle it now,
it's tough,
you won't deserve it.
And Coachy, does Coachy do one-on-ones? And also in that one-on-ones, is Coachy straight and narrow and tell these guys, listen here, you are number 3. Listen, you need to work on this. Or does Coachy balance it out?
John, I seldom have one-on-ones. I have an auditorium full of 43 players. And I stand there and I say, you got to fix this, you got to fix this, you got to fix it, you got to do that. Because I believe open and honest with everyone, people know where they stand. It's easy to sit with a player in your office and tell him, you're brilliant, you just got to work at it. And I know maybe that's a professional way. I handle the personal stuff separate. But game-wise, I open and honest. You got to know where you stand. It's easy to tell this hooker, yes, if you just can change your throw in, you'll play. For the next one, I tell this. But to say it in front of each other, players are not dumb. They stand on the field and they know why this guy is striking. They can see it every training. So why do you hide it? Yes, maybe the right way is doing one-on-ones behind closed doors. But maybe that's old school.
Nothing wrong with a bit of old school.
Yeah, 100%.
We like a bit of old school, Coach Jimmy. But I think my question before we go into Coach's life and more about Coach Jimmy Stonehouse.
And the singing and the stuff. Yes.
I think the question I like to ask you is, Pumas Rugby, what does that mean to you? If I was a guy sitting next to Coach Jimmy on a plane that's never watched rugby before, and I ask you, please explain to me why do you love the Pumas so much and what does this union mean to Coach Jimmy personally?
The Pumas gave me an opportunity. I always believed when I was a teacher that in Afrikaans, they say sout en goud. I can change sout into goud.
Okay.
I always had that belief. But yeah, when I was young, I was a bit arrogant. I had this great body, and I believe, yes, I was just the guy. You know, when you get that arrogance. And I believe that cost me also in life, you know. I always believe you say how you feel, and in South African rugby, it unfortunately doesn't work that way. But, you know, not a lot of people know. 25 years ago, I took Russian 7-a-side to the World Cup in Mar del Plata, 2001. And I won the plate final.
Sure.
Not a lot of people know this. Bobby Steenskats still played for the Boks. Chester Williams, Brayton Paulser. We were in Argentina, and I coached Russia. So rugby became a long part of me. And then I came back from Russia, and then the Pumas gave me an opportunity, which I'm grateful for the old president, Heinmans, because I coached his son, and he played for me, and he coached with me. That gave me the opportunity. And I always got this saying, you never got to forget where you come from. And getting into the Pumas, Coach Sim, I remember we were 14 on the lock. And 2 years after that, we were 6 on the lock. And then I always believe I'm going to get this chance at a big union. And it never came. And then I went to Japan in my first year. Frans Steyn still played for me. We played the final. And then the rumors come that the Pumas were going to play URC. And I came back to South Africa. And I'm still sitting at the Pumas because I don't get that opportunity at the big union. So the Pumas gave me the opportunity. And that's why I fight for them. Because there's a lot of players that don't get the opportunity like I wish I had. So they want to play for the Boks. They want to play for the big unions. And they would just miss. They were at the wrong time, wrong place. And the Pumas, it's like Creekwas. It's like all the smaller unions. They that stepping stone. And if I can create that for them, looking back how many players come through the Pumas system and being at a big union and guys who became Springbok. So people say to me, don't you feel bad about them if they go away? If they stay here the whole time, your team will stay the same. It's like a business. If you keep the same people, the business stays the same. So yes, and if people go, there's at least something you do right.
Yeah, there was some lessons from Pumas as well. I mean, Dwayne comes from there, Vincent Koch, World Cup winners, Fafi comes from there. And Fafi's going to the Cheetahs. Why didn't you bring him back, Coachy?
Yeah, you know, Sean Fenter, you got Roscoe Speckman. You know, there's a lot of guys. And yes, it's just amazing thinking back of all those players. And it's great to be part of that system.
Yeah. Is there anyone particular that has played for you at the Pumas that it's got a piece of your heart, someone that's still absolutely your heart, that you have a soft spot that went on to make it far in life, Coach Jimmy?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, but if I think of Roscoe Speckman, you know, we spend a lot of time together, and he was just amazing. And then Corneille Steenkamp played for me, you know. I always say this to the players, I can count on one hand how many mistakes that guy made when he played.
Yes.
He was just amazing. You know, he and NJ played for me in grade 9.
Sure.
And then they coached with me for 15 years. And they still played for me before that 15 years. Then you know how long time you come together. But Corneille Steenkamp and Roscoe Speckman, those guys, just amazing.
Yeah. And Coachy also mentioned it. Obviously, Coachy said Coachy's in at the Pumas because no one wants Coachy. But Coachy also went to Russia, but also to Japan as well. That type of experience that Coachy brought back to the Pumas and trying to take the Pumas now to the next level.
Yeah, you know what? A coach in Japan meant a lot to me. Learned a lot. You know, it's a different setup. The way you coach at the Pumas and the way you coach in Japan, the way we'll coach at the Bulls, it's a different setup. Because some players come to the Pumas and they think they will never make it. They don't have the opportunity. So it's a different mindset. When you go to the Bulls when you're young and you play SA at 21, you play SA schools, you've got a different mindset. You've got the mindset, I'm becoming the future Springbok, I'm the next guy, I'm in the system. So you gotta change that guy to Pumas to believe that he can change them. You can be the different person. And that's why I always say you got to make it for them uncomfortable to believe that. You can make it Sebastian Leclerc once said in the media, at some stage you think you must finish off because it's too tough. But then he said to me, Coach, when I come to the Bulls, that's nothing. They don't train there. It's not training.
Yeah.
But when you sit with Springboks, when you sit with talented guys, and each and every one is a sprinter. Each and every one weighs 120. And each and every one is nearly 2 meters. It's a different setup. It's different. But yeah, we got good players here, and I believe each and every one can make it.
And that's fascinating, partner, because I was thinking throughout this conversation so far, Coach speak a lot about players leaving and the difficulties of obviously keeping them. But I also think, Ruckers, a compliment that we have to give Coach Jimmy and the Pumas is also their scouting and ability to identify that Coach spoke about when as a teacher, turning that salt into gold. How do you do that, Coach Jimmy? How do you identify someone that someone might not want or someone that a coach or system wrote off? Is there a set of principles that you like to look at before you scout a player? Because you've attracted club rugby players, varsity cup players from bigger unions that fell out of the under-21 system. But you've always found another salt that you want to turn into gold. How have you done that, Coach? And what do you look for when you go and scout players that you need to fill the void that has been left by players leaving for bigger and better places?
I believe the management we got, when MJ was still here, he could visualize a lot of guys who would think you make it for nice tech camp at the moment. Our CEO, Marius Lorenz, I think he's one of the best scouts in the whole South Africa.
Yes.
Because I think he made one mistake in his life, player, but the rest was just brilliant. And you need players with good character, but you also need that dog. You also need that guy that can do the bite, and sometimes, they say what you do on and off the field will echo into eternity. But you gotta have that one or two guys that really makes it tough out there, and we look at that stuff as well. You gotta have that guys that bring people together, like in leaders. So we look at a lot of different stuff. But the whole truth in life is a coach is only as good as his management, and is only as good as his team. Yeah. People like to say sometimes Jimmy Stonehouse changed stuff. If you don't have players that's brilliant and players that can make it, you also won't make it. So those guys, they do have it. And players make a coach. Management make a coach. You sometimes just got to try to keep it together. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy for them. I do believe it. But at the end of the day, it's after rugby, you got a life with a business and a family, and you got to make the right choices. And somebody got to teach you that. And that's where coaches come from.
And Coach, we asked our viewers and our Ruckers also to ask a couple of questions for Jimmy. One question here from _David_. Coach, do you think of including more club franchise teams like countries like Namibia and Zimbabwe in the Currie Cup or other leagues like that?
I don't think so, because we got our own franchises to look after. I don't know money if it can benefit in any way, but if you include Namibia, I don't know if all their players are still playing there. I think they play abroad. The same with Zimbabwe. A lot of Zimbabwe players are playing in South Africa already. So how strong will that be? So I believe making rugby bigger can always be better if it's strength against strength. But I think I don't think it will work in SA Rugby.
Okay, interesting. I like it. I like Coach Jimmy's honesty. That is something, Ruckers, that I do not take lightly. The fact that Coach Jimmy is always honest. And that is why, partner, I would like to know, is there something, Coach Jimmy, that people get most wrong about you? That they have got a misconception about Coach Jimmy that isn't what they perceive it to be?
Yes, I think first of all, people think I'm very difficult. And I'm not. I'm just 1 minute early or an hour late. Which one do you want? You want to be an hour early than a minute late. And we're working with people. Got to respect people, and people don't like you to hear the honesty. And I think that people think I'm difficult. And the other one is they think I'm arrogant. And I'm not. I'm fighting for my people. If you don't fight for your people, who's going to fight for them? And when sometimes I look at media and they say, the Pumas can never make it in URC. Jimmy Stonehouse is crazy. And then I think, shall I write it? Did you read the article? I never said we will make it in the URC. I said we need an international competition. But if we can play an international competition and we can travel, and next year 3 or 4 of those guys go to a big union, they used to traveling 3-4 weeks abroad. People only read what they want to read.
Oof.
And it's the same with me. If they look at me, they think, that guy. But yeah, it's not.
And how does coaches see it with these international competitions? Is it Super Rugby? Is it Challenge Cup? Should we play it out for it? How does coaches see it?
It's easy to say. We like to say the guy that came last in the UFC has to play out for the guy who wins in the Currie Cup. I don't know if we will ever have enough money to compete in the URC if you're a smaller union. It's going to take you time. Who's going to back you? Who's going to put money behind you? So yes, it's nice to say the guy who come last in the EPCR has to play out against the guy in the Currie Cup. If that worked that way and you can work towards that and you can get sponsors, yes, that can be a great idea. You're doing it in the SA Cup. So why can't you try doing it a step further up? But South African rugby, you've got well-known names. They got identities, the Bulls, the Pumas, the Lions, and it's going to be tough to change that in SA Rugby.
Yeah, and also one thing I've also noticed, especially with SA Cup as well, Griquas won the Currie Cup last year and they had to qualify again, and you also had those opportunities. What do you think about, have to qualify again for that opportunity even though you're defending champion?
Okay, let's quickly talk about that. There's a famous saying, what goes for the goose goes for the gander. 22, we played the final for the Currie Cup, we won it. 23, we played the final, we lost it. 24, we played the final for the SA Cup. 25, we played the final for the SA Cup, we won. We haven't lost one game. We had to qualify for the Currie Cup. 26, we played the final, we won it.
Sure.
So, were we supposed, because we won the SA Cup last year, of not losing one game? Why did we have to qualify this year? So why must Griquas qualify for the Currie Cup because they win it? It's unfortunately what it is.
Level playing fields. Love it. Okay. But I can't help myself I would love to know, because when I did coaches research last night and this morning, and I obviously trying to understand our guests so much better, that Coachy does have a bodybuilding background. That Coachy was in fantastic shape. Coachy loved working out. What did bodybuilding teach, Coach? And what did Coach love about bodybuilding so much in your time in bodybuilding that we have got no clue about, and the nuances that goes into, let's say, the discipline it takes to be a bodybuilder, the learnings you took out from being a bodybuilder, and that stuff that you used from bodybuilding career that you took into your rugby?
You know what? It's actually a lonely sport, because you can sometimes get carried away because you're looking nice and you stand in the gym and then they'll say, that guy's always looking in the mirror. He's just looking at himself. But an athlete's got a stopwatch.
Yes.
A rugby player's got a game to watch. What does a bodybuilder have? He has a mirror. The only thing that can tell you if you're better is the mirror. And yes, obviously, there's a lot of stories around bodybuilding and what people use and what they don't use. If you cannot stand up in the morning and go to the gym, if you cannot force feed and eat correctly, you can do whatever you want. You will never get to that top performance. And it's a lonely game. When people eat chips and drink brandy, you took it to your lunchbox and you eat chicken breast. That's the level where you go to. Unfortunately, it's what it is. And it's a choice. And people would love to say a lot of things about bodybuilders. It's not an easy sport. It's tough. The discipline you take from that. That's the thing I will always have with me. I still train. Although I had a hip and a knee replacement, and sometimes I think, why did I still doing? But it's in me. And why do I still eat correctly? Because it's easy to stand on the field and talk to players. And at least you got to look like you got a healthy body, and you want to turn them into something, and you want to teach them something. I think that's the biggest thing that bodybuilding taught me, is to have that discipline, stand up, go into train. And you know what? Everybody can look nice in clothes. But if you take that shirt off, that's the difference.
That's spot on. And they always say a high-performance player needs a high-performance coach, and Jimmy is a high-performance coach.
I said to the players this afternoon, and that's where rugby is turning wrong. Bakkies Botha said, I talk some chop something about a guy that doesn't look like a rugby player. How does a rugby player look like? You can have the biggest arms and the biggest, and you cannot pass the ball, and you're not strong enough. And so rugby is built for all shapes and sizes, and that's what makes this game so great. So bodybuilders can never play rugby. It's unfortunate to what it is, because they will tear every muscle in their body. But if you run too far, you don't want to do that, Ben, because the kgs is just getting out of the door.
That's too much, yeah. But Coachy, talk us through, Mr. South Africa in 2005 and Mr. Universe in 2006, 20 years ago. Why did Coachy apply or do it? And how was that period, standing there as Mr. South Africa 2005?
You know what? I first started competing, I think I was 40.
Yes.
And I never want to do the leg shaving and the arm shaving and all that stuff. And I did that, and I, you know what? I never asked people how it would work, because I really looked okay for me, and then I went for a spray tan, and then I got to my first show, and then I see there's something wrong with me. I'm not as brown as I could be. There's something wrong. And then they said, now you take the tan and you just put the tan on. And then I took my weights and I stopped using water, and I trained. And then the blood dripping out of my nose, and I realized something is wrong here. I'm not doing it in the right way. And then I see people standing backstage with a red physio lamp, and they're just heating themselves up, putting no time in there, and then you learn from this. And then someone told me I must eat salt and vinegar chips. And when I first went on the stage, and then I vomit because I did all the wrong things, And 2 or 3 competitions in a row, every time when I get on the stage and they say, right, most muscular pose, and I did that pose, and the judges will close their face because there's something coming. And then after that, I learned the right way, and then I went to France and Paris, and I kept sick.
Yeah. Favorite pose, Coachy? Mr. Overall?
Most muscular, yeah.
Love it.
Because Jimmy, but we're going to step into a segment that we call the LoveChange Studio. It's made just for you by Brightrock. And it's all about change. When change happens in your life, tying the knot, buying your first house, landing the job. And my question to you is all about landing your first job. What was Jimmy Stonehouse's very first job out of school, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, I always wanted to go to the army. And then I finished school, and then Currie Cup, the old Springbok winger, came and see my parents and said he thinks I believe I must become a rugby player. And he took me to Goudstad Teachers Training College. And then I became a teacher. And then I finished my teaching, and then I went to the army. And then the army was over, I started teaching. And in my first year, I started coaching at the school. And I think in my third year, I coached the Cravenbeach side of the Pumas. Then it was South East Transvaal. And the biggest mistake I made in my career, I think rugby-wise, no, it wasn't a mistake, because I loved the kids. Guys like Dickie van Black, Gary Botha, they all played for me at school, So I loved the kids. They were great children. And me, Heineke Meyer, Jake, Frans Ludeker, we were all in the same area. Era.
Yes.
Jake coached the Lions. They coached the Pumas. And then I never wanted to leave school, because I loved the kids and I loved the school level. And they went on and they went into coaching, and unfortunately, I took it up too late. Leaving Ermelo High School, went with Coach Blue Bulls, Gravy Week side. I also coached the women's Springbok Sevens, winning the Africa Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I got the opportunity at Pumas, and rest is history.
Coachy, before we say goodbye, okay, a little birdie told me Coach has got a restaurant in Pretoria as well. Is that fake news?
No. I got a restaurant called Die Vlakvark. Quite a big place, actually, a sports. It's a restaurant with a lot of sports televisions, a place for 40 people to sleep. I like this tents that you get in the Kruger National Park, you know, but not 5-star like that. But quite a nice place in Pretoria.
And
great
every
place,
Friday night, what happens every Friday night?
Yeah, not every Friday, but I love to sing the music. And I love to sing to the people.
Entertainer by nature. Love it.
Yeah, Coachy, thank you very much for the time. I know you guys are up and running and busy, especially preparing for a Currie Cup. But all the best for you boys. I mean, we've also got a soft spot for Pumas, what you guys done throughout the years, and especially for Coachy as well. Coachy has done fantastic work for South African rugby, for rugby in general, and for coaches as well. Me, that's also inspiring young coaches as well. It's great to see what Coachy is busy with, and we can just learn from Coachy. Thank you very much for the time and all the best that side.
Yeah, guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for you guys, what you are doing for this game. Arigato negaimasu.
Yes.
Doi itashimashite.
Just Coachy.
Ruckers up next. We talk all URC semi-final rugby. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Oh, that was special. And if you guys enjoyed the conversation with Coach Jimmy, I want to ask you guys once again, please subscribe to our channel for all the new audience. Maybe there's new viewers from the Nelspruit and Mpumalanga area that's never seen us. Guys, please subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free. It helps us to grow. I appreciate it.
100%. Let's get its semi-final time of the URC, and this is brought to you by our official partner, Burger King. We have first up, Glasgow Warriors versus Bulls on Saturday, 6th of June, 3:30. And then Leinster versus Storm on Saturday, 6th June, 6:30. We're going to Edinburgh, not Scotstoun, that first one, eh?
Yeah, look, and Coach Akis actually said what we discussed in the live show this past Sunday, that Murrayfield will help a little bit. It will be a little bit of a leveler, evening the playing field. So what I like him, I think he had a quote, and I might be paraphrasing here, because I use that word without knowing if that's in the right context.
No, for Behind The Ruck it is.
Okay, thank you. But he said, for you to have a chance in the semi-finals and give yourselves a chance, you have to be there. And our boys are there. Sure. They're giving themselves an opportunity to walk away from Edinburgh and booking their spot in the final. And that, as a Bulls fan, has got me excited this whole week.
100%, and I'm with you. Okay, we're fully behind the South Africans. Okay, and I feel like, Scotstoun is a tough place to go. That 4G pitch, the history for the Stormers and even the Bulls as well, it's not great. But going to Scotland, Edinburgh, playing in their home Scotland field, because the Springboks got good memories there.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of Springboks in the Bulls team, so it's Bulls versus Scotland, so we got good memories here. So I'm fully behind the boys because I want that final year.
Okay. And talking about the next game, the Aviva match, how are you feeling? Obviously, we before the match, we were looking ahead. How are you feeling as a Stormer legend sitting here today?
A little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to the Ruckers. A little bit nervous. Leinster, they're hurting and they've got backs against the wall and the reputations and stuff is on the line. And we saw it against the Lions as well. Incredible outing against them. And, even bad news coming with a couple of injuries of the boys. A massive part with the spine-ish this past season. Shasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu. But I'm confident that Yuri Mathieu will pull the strings for us. But I'm still going to back the Stormers, even though it's going to be a tough ask for them. Looking at if you get what you want, the Bulls, if I get maybe what I want for the Stormers, then we go to the DHL Stadium. But it's going to be a tough one. And we have to play similar to what Bordeaux, because we kind of, I would say Bordeaux and Stormers got the same type of vibe. Okay. Physicality with transition play. If we can bring that physicality with transition play and that set piece on top of Leinster, we saw what happened in the final. We have a massive chance.
Look, that's a big comparison being the same as Bordeaux, but I'll let...
You feel what I'm saying? Same, but different. Tomato. Potato.
Hy kook vandag hoor. Look, I obviously want South African teams to win. I think that's the bottom line, Ruckers, we need to get out of this. a DHL stadium final between the Vodacom Bulls and the DHL Stormers. That's a match made in heaven before we go to the 20th in Quebec for the Barbarians match. We will be lekker lubricated for international season. But the Stormers got a tougher semi-final partner.
I agree.
That's the unfortunate thing.
It is a tough one, yeah. But it's possible.
It is possible.
The Bulls did it in the very first URC with Cornell packing 2 under our late friend. But yeah, special. I think it's possible. And I mean, with the form of some of the players, you never know. Hopefully we can get a Taineki. We just get a Taineki at number 10. Pendergrast.
I like that. That's a good point. Valid point. And Ruckers, if you guys are watching now, we will have this upcoming Sunday at 7 o'clock, our live result show again. We'll be discussing the 2 semi-finals. Come and join us. Whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, please come and join us. Have your say and we talk a little bit more in-depth rugby this upcoming Sunday, 7 o'clock. Okay, guys?
100%.
But I'm going to go for the Bulls by 10.
Retweet, repost. Plus, plus 5.
It won't be an easy game.
Plus
it
5,
will not be
plus
easy.
5, plus 10. Stormers.
I'm going to go Leinster by 8.
Leinster by 8.
Yeah.
Repeat, please. We're not cutting this out.
I'm going Leinster by 8.
Leinster by 8. So he doesn't want to go to the DHL stadium. It looks like it. I'm going to go Stormers plus 3. It's going to be a hit. It's going to be a Yuri Mattia penalty maybe at the end. It's going to be a hit. So, we'll see. And hopefully we'll cover that in the Sunday review this Sunday coming up.
No.
But quickly, Springbok concerns, man. Injuries, a couple of injuries. Obviously, we spoke about the 20th of June. Berga, Barbarians, but also the Stables.
Stables, yeah.
Yeah. So it's 2 squads we need, but the injury list are long. Who do we play? What's going on?
Look, it's definitely concerning that we've lost Shasa, obviously, now to Sinders Moses injury that they've reported this week. I don't know how accurate social media and the stuff is with the reports, but I'm just saying what I've read in social media. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Don't give me bad news.
No, I'm not giving you bad news. I'm saying what I read on it. So the Shasa one is massive. The Kwagga Smith one for me is obviously massive.
Biggest one.
Then we forgot we've lost Ergie Snyman. Beginning of the year to another ACL. Lotus 8.
Eben is still struggling. Kubus Reina. The list is on. We
Grant Williams.
Yeah, we still have Trevor and Franna and a couple of other boys. Apalele Fassi as well. That's massive. Ethan Hooker. So the list is long. What do we do with the Stables? Do we play the SA under 20s? Do we play the SA Cup Strong 15? Do we play... giving guys other opportunities that's played in the under 23 competition that was there?
I think it's probably because we've had an alignment camp of 60 players. I think there's enough players to select from partner. We still have the overseas-based players, guys like a Trokio Augustus that can come in. Yeah. So there's a Carlos Sadi that's up for selection, a Marnus van der Merwe that plays for Scarlets that's up for selection. So there's a big pool of talent. Our depth will get tested, but I believe we've got adequate. I am cooking.
Ooh.
We've got adequate amount of players to select from that Coach Rassi can be strong. And like my English, we are fine.
Yeah.
Coach Rassi is fine. Yeah, I'm cooking today, but continue.
You are cooking, yeah. As the episode comes to the end, you are cooking, yeah.
Look at Ruckers on Sunday. I want you guys, even now below, say your concerns. Say if you're fine. Say if you don't agree with my take on the Leinster match against the Stormers. We want you guys to interact, and that is what the show is about. It's not just a show where we talk to you. It's a show where we talk with you. That is why we the number 1 rugby podcast.
What and we give. It's just Burgerking vouchers. We've got sweet tickets for 2027 coming as well.
Yes.
Siaku, Lucas, and Colby, Wilco Low. They want to get the whole season of that.
They want to get the whole season, the Ruckers. And while my partner's talking about the point, Burger King, no, not DuPont. Burger King, this month of June, we got a different competition mechanism. Okay, guys? We're giving away tickets to the greatest rivalry matches. Giveaway? Please make sure you guys go follow our tickets. We'll have it in the description below where you guys can go and enter for the chance to win those tickets. But more to come this week on our social media and next week's episode. So please don't miss out. This will be your destination so you guys can see the All Blacks and against our local franchises. We are going to give away tickets to those matches. But that's all I'm saying for this week. I want to thank you, SuperSport Bet, that are proudly supported by this show, Behind the Ruck. Our hydration partner, Switch, is in the house. We got our official partners, Burger King, and obviously our Macron as our apparel partners. It's a mouthful, but without your continued support, sponsors like these aren't possible. But I've said enough. My English data bundle is out.
Ja, het was een lekker
Het was
episode.
een lekker
Het was
episode.
een Stonehouse episode. Huh?
Het was een episode with meaning, vulnerability and honesty, partner.
Yes, there we go. Because it takes you a long way. Okay, let's smell the flowers. Okay, guys, see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm Juan Leon.
I'm Rudy Pates
And
and
the
the
Ruck
Ruck
is
is clear.
clear. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.